So the quartering is no doubt running damage control for Sydney Watson, and I'm not really sure why. I don't really fully understand why he would be going this hard on the damage control that he's doing. I understood the first tweet that he made on his Twitter whenever he said, you know, Sydney's my friend, I'm going to be sticking by her side through this whole thing. I know she's not lying. All these other things, that's just something that a friend should do. Like, there's no doubt about that. If my friend was going through a similar situation, I would do the same thing. You know, I would make a tweet letting everybody know that, yeah, I am going to stick by Sydney. There's no doubt about it. But this Sydney Watson versus the Blaze lawsuit is very iffy in my opinion. And whenever you watch any breakdown by an actual lawyer on YouTube, I watched the Nick Rekieta one and the Legal Mindset one, and they were both really good. You know, both really, really good breakdowns of the Sydney Watson versus the Blaze case. They were also as unbiased as possible. You know, they acknowledge, just like I do, that Elijah Schaffer does seem like a weirdo. He does seem like the type to probably say some very inappropriate things in a professional environment. But at the same time, the lawsuit just seems weak from all the information that we have. And the quartering keeps saying over and over again that he has inside information, but we don't have that. All we have is the lawsuit that we have to go off of. All we have is the information that we have, man. So that's why everybody's saying, even the lawyers, not just myself, saying that this seems a little bit of a weak lawsuit. And the quartering, which, like I said, I don't understand why, but he's going very hard on the defense for Sydney Watson. You know, I understood the first tweet, but going this hard, tweeting at people, commenting on my video, you know, kind of criticizing Sydney Watson. And yeah, I do go hard, man. That's kind of, you know, that's what I do. I don't have a filter, and I never will. I'm never going to apologize for the opinions that I have. If I'm wrong, if this case ends up going to trial, which I don't think it will, I think they'll probably end up settling before it can get to that point. But actually, I don't know, because the Blaze did release a statement today saying that they look forward to taking this to trial. I don't know if that's an intimidation tactic or if they'll actually take it to trial. We'll see. But yeah, I don't understand why the quartering is going so hard on the damage control, because he did this video here. We'll go over that in 1 second. But he also has been tweeting at his fans as well. He responds to this guy, Edgar Allan Poe, shout out to Edgar, said, LOL. I imagine if it was any other woman, you know he'll make 200 videos about it, but his fans don't see the hypocrisy. And I mean, that's true, dude. That's very true. He did, you know, Eliza Blue. And I understand that Eliza Blue was a lot worse. You know, she censored everybody who was trying to talk about her on Twitter and on YouTube and everything. But Eliza Blue, other than the censorship part, is not much different from the information that we have. That's all I'm saying. From the information that we have. Obviously, the quartering might have some inside info. I don't know. He's saying that he does. Maybe he's just saying that to make Sydney Watson look more credible. But maybe he actually does have inside info, and he knows that Elijah Schaffer did something worse than what's in the lawsuit. I don't know why she wouldn't put that in there if that's the case. Why not just put that in the lawsuit so there's no question about it? But I don't know. Maybe he's telling the truth. And he responds to that and says, so let me get this straight. You're ass mad that I won't make a video to say the exact same thing that I said in my tweet? Nah, what you really want is for me to disavow her and disagree with her. I don't. I hope she takes them to the cleaners. Have a nice day. That's not really what I want. Maybe, you know, some people want him to disavow her. I would just like him to be a little bit more unbiased, you know, just make 1 or 2 statements from an unbiased perspective. But I know that's impossible because he's literally bound to her by an LLC. You know, they do streams together weekly, and there's nothing that he can do. You know, he's in it now. And he makes very similar jokes to some of the things that she was complaining about Elijah Schaffer doing. So maybe he's just really trying to make sure that he's on her good side so she doesn't do the same thing to him. Maybe that's the case. I don't know. I wish I could understand it. I like the quartering's content, but it's kind of the same thing with Tim Pool. And I'm not saying this is the exact same situation, but it's very similar to how Tim Pool is handling the Eliza Blue situation. And it's very similar to how Tim Pool handles the other situations as well. And it's similar to how I feel about Tim Pool and how I feel about the quartering. I like his content, but it's things like this where he's just blindly defending somebody. And maybe he's not blindly. Maybe he has the inside info. But from our perspective, it seems like he's blindly defending someone who doesn't deserve it based on the lawsuit, based on the information that we have. This guy says, oh, effing please, if AOC wrote the lawsuit suing someone she did a podcast with, you would be picking it apart for its complete baseless and leftist arguments. Only reason you aren't calling this lawsuit a cash grab, which it is because you're friends with her. It's almost like in this case, I actually have inside info and I'm not just speculating. But this guy, like everybody who's saying things like this, they're true. They're speaking facts, dude. If it was anybody else, the quartering would be making 20 videos on it, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's actually better than not speaking on it at all, which he did make a video speaking on it. So respect to him for actually making the video speaking on it. He made a funny title, very funny, haha, ironic title. And in this video, he says some pretty ridiculous things, dude. I'll be real with you. And I understand, like, going after somebody with 1.5 million subscribers and the other person involved, who's the main person that I'm criticizing, has like 800 or 900K on YouTube. There's going to be a lot of people coming after me. I understand that. I don't really care. You know, whatever I think is the truth is what I'm going to speak, regardless of the backlash. And until I'm proven wrong with facts and not just people getting mad because I'm coming after their favorite YouTuber for being wrong, then I'll change my mind and I'll admit that I'm wrong with no issue. But he said some really ridiculous things. The Quartering said some ridiculous things in this video defending Sydney Watson. Things like he has to read all the super chats on their streams because she's so traumatized from reading the super chats from the Blaze on YAH. She's so traumatized that she can't read super chats. I'm gonna be real with you. If that's the case, if you're that fragile because you read some super chats that ended up you being the butt of the joke after you read them, if you're that fragile, you probably should just not do YouTube. Like, if you can't read super chats, you should probably just get off YouTube. I'm gonna be real. Like, you should try reading through one of my comment sections on a video that I make about you, and then, you know, you'll see what it's really like. But dude, reading super chats, you can't read the stuff that people are sending you money to read. That's crazy. Like I said, you should probably get off YouTube if that's the case. And there was a few things in there that it was just like, why are you saying this? You know, he would just go hard, just like on monologues, you know, rambles, just white knighting hard, just saying how much integrity Sydney Watson has and all this other stuff. We don't really care, man. Like, in my opinion, her integrity was thrown out the window whenever I saw that video that she did on Me Too, you know, her very first video on her YouTube channel, and she criticizes someone else for doing the same thing that she's doing right now. And if she put in the lawsuit that Elijah Schaffer did certain things to her, if he touched her inappropriately or whatever, that would be completely different. Completely different, because I would actually believe her, because I know he has a history of doing that. And like I said, I probably believe a lot of things that she said, and that is true. And that lawsuit is true. Like, I think Elijah Schaffer probably did say some pretty weird things to her, but it's not lawsuit worthy, in my opinion. The things that I think Elijah Schaffer would say, unless he did something physically to her or something that you can actually prove with tangible evidence, it's not lawsuit worthy. But they'll probably end up settling anyway. We'll see. A lot of the comments are saying the same things that I'm saying. Like, I hope that the Quartering isn't choosing the wrong path here. I hope that he actually knew about this lawsuit before getting signed and bound by an LLC to her as well. That would be pretty sad if he didn't. And that would also explain why he's going so hard white knighting for her. He also left a comment on my video. Nothing too crazy. I think he's just kind of trying to deter me from speaking on it in the way that I'm speaking on it, which is, you know, it's reasonable. He says, well, I can tell you, Sydney, as someone who actually knows her, is not a liar. Pretty disgusting take here, dude. I get the hustle, but stop and think for a minute what she has to gain by all this. What do you mean what she has to gain by all this? She has a settlement to gain. Money. I think it's pretty obvious. Like, it's just things like saying things like this is like, what do you mean what she has to gain by all this? You said it yourself. She becomes radioactive by doing things like this. So obviously she's not going to commit career toaster bath without anything to gain from it. She's obviously trying to get a bag, dude. If she can't even read super chats, she probably doesn't like being on YouTube. She probably doesn't like doing social media stuff anymore. She's probably trying to get a bag so she can retire and get away from this stuff. I think that's what's going on. So when he says stuff like this, I get the hustle, but stop and think for a minute what she has to gain by all this. It's pretty obvious what she has to gain, right? Am I crazy? Let me know in the comments. I mean, I'm sure a lot of you are going to say I'm crazy just because you're Quartering and Sydney Watson fans, but I don't know, man. You can lead a horse to water. You can't force him to drink, though. I can show you the hypocrisy over and over again, but if you refuse to drink, then, you know, it is what it is. That's on you. And you'll probably be proven wrong in the future, or maybe I will. I'll have no problem admitting it. I hope it's the same for you. But let me know what you guys think in the comments about the whole situation. Let me know what you think about the Quartering going after his fans for just wanting him to address the situation. And what do you think about Sydney Watson versus the Blaze? Let me know in the comments what you think. If you did enjoy the video, please leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I hope to see you on the next one.